Cloudie McDoom.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go.
Now, you're probably asking yourself, who is this dark-skinned fella with the pompous hairdo, and what in tarnation is he doing all the way out here in the middle of the desert? Well, sometimes in order to learn about a man, you gotta walk a mile in his boots, or dress shoes in this case. And that's exactly what we gonna do. So gather around, cause Artie-Mack gonna tell you this here story about a man they call the Joe. Our story takes place in a distant, far-off land known as Las Vegas, Nevada, or Sin City as they call it. Dry heat, elastic grass, cocktail ladies, and casinos out the wazoo. I'm talking big, colorful slot machines in every hotel in the city, just robbing folks, one after another. Crank 'em and yank 'em, stick 'em up, boy. But I digress. Now you see, the Joe ain't never had himself a regular 9-to-5 occupation, so he's what you folks might call a Renaissance man, doing anything and everything he can to make a quick buck. Freelancer, what have you, and notorious for getting his hands dirty, whenever the job called for it. If there was one thing about the Joe, is that he was loyal to a fault, but this particular job was for a rather eccentric individual known around the way as Buddy Raj, who, for the lack of a better word, was weird as shit. Boy was paranoid about every damn thing, doing shit like waking up early in the morning just to make sure his face was still attached. Better safe than sorry, I guess.
I said the blue shirt. Thanks for coming. I know you came all the way over from Alabama. I know you don't know why yet. Let me explain.
Well, as it turns out, Buddy Raj had misplaced something precious to him called the reason, and enlisted the help of the Joe to get it back. Now, this being the Joe's first time in Vegas, he most definitely felt like a fish out of water, or out the swimming pool if you want to be accurate, which is where his first lead was waiting on him. A fine and fussy little thing known around town is Dat Gal, on account of her being somebody you really don't want to mess with, unless you just fancy getting your ass beat like a rented mule. In which case, go ahead and try your luck and let me know how that plays out for you, boy. Now, as fortune would have it, that gal was in possession of the reason, but she wasn't gonna let the Joe have it without doing a little fetch and grab quest for her in exchange. Yep. Needless to say, the Joe wasn't playing that and gave that gal some buck back. Her being equally, if not more stubborn than the Joe, she wasn't gonna budge an inch. So either he was gonna do what she asked and take what she gave him to the next person, or he might as well tell Buddy Raj better luck next time. But the Joe being occupationally encumbered as it was, this was all he had available at the moment, and rent still had to be paid back east. So off he went, spewing unpleasantries in his mind with every puff of his paper cigarette. Yeah. Ain't nothing worse in this world than getting sent on a wild-ass goose chase for reasons you ain't even quite sure about no more. With the only thing guiding your steps is a light at the end of the tunnel called hope, and the promise of money for services rendered. Sauce, trust me, boy. But moving this train along, the Joe found himself in a bowling alley of all places, with clear instructions to deliver the package to that gal's contact. The Joe knew this was gonna be a long-ass day of forward and back and forth all over again, doing a whole bunch of nothing. Like how this old drunk fella came out of nowhere screaming at the Joe, saying a whole bunch of stupid shit like, "Where you from, boy? 'Cause me and my people about to make this country great again." But of course the Joe made quick work of this old drunken bastard, whooped his ass and went on about his way. And that's when he realized, forget all that other shit. It's 100% about the money. Yes, every damn time. But as you might have already surmised, wasn't nobody at that damn bar but a tall glass of disappointment. Yeah, the Joe went to all kind of places out there in Las Vegas. I'm talking about places that seem like whole other planets, if I'm being honest with you. Places that a fella like me wouldn't be caught dead in unless I was tripping down mountains and falling sideways up the sky to catch my drift. And as kooky as these locations might have been for the Joe, at the end of the day, it was always gonna be about getting the job done. Stupid and random as it may be, but hey, this the life you sign up for when you ain't got no regular type of income. With W-2 forms and all that shit. Now in the midst of all of his fetch and grab, there's one particular fella that just felt like giving him a hard time. He told the Joe that he wasn't gonna accept what that gal had delivered until the Joe picked something up for him. And reluctant as it was, the Joe abided. But something told him that the next time he saw this fella, it was up. The Joe was everywhere, meeting all types of people and doing miscellaneous trades to eventually get his hands on the reason. You know, it might even be some symbolism wrapped up in all this madness. I mean, maybe every single one of us knows somebody like the Joe out there in the world trying to get by and make ends meet any way they can. Hell, maybe you the Joe and don't even realize it. But either way, every single one of us is looking for our own reason, is what I'm trying to say to you folks out there. So the Joe traded a toy to this fella for a battery pack. Patted that fella on the head, called him a bitch, and went on his black ass way. The Joe found his way back to this one individual. Let's just say that this wasn't the most professional deal that Joe had ever done throughout his tenure of miscellaneous activity. And I'm gonna leave it at that, but he already knew it had to be done. And well, the Joe put hands on this fella. He beat his ass like it was the last ass to beat on earth. Shit was personal. But the Joe kept his eye on the prize and went on about his way. After running this man's pockets, that is. Now, after a whole morning of ripping and running, making deals and beating wholesale ass all over Las Vegas, the Joe had finally returned with what Dat Gal had requested. Even now, he was questioning whether any of this stuff was worth the trouble. And unfortunately for the Joe, well, let's just say he ain't got no damn filter. And called that gal something that no fella should ever call a lady, unless you had relations with your brother or owes you a gratuitous amount of money. But needless to say, that gal wasn't too pleased by what he said, and well, here we are, smack dab in the middle of nowhere, with the sun in his eyes and sand particles all up in his ass. And as it turns out, that guy was gonna whoop the Joe's ass anyway on principle. But what he had done to her business associate, that is 100% karma. I'm talking boot the ass, you only get what you give type shit. But like I said from the very beginning, the Joe was anything but uncommitted. And the reason still needed to be delivered to Buddy Raj back in town. So he walked. And walked. And walked. And walked some more. This boy walking so damn much, I'm getting tired. And I'm just narrating the damn thing. So you know that's a whole lot of walking. I tried to tell y'all he walking. I told you. Yeah, the Joe was losing it to say the least. And as if things couldn't get more ridiculous, the Joe started hallucinating, seeing all types of crazy shit. But push come to shove, the Joe just kind of ran with it. And the crazier and crazier it became, well, the Joe just found a way to match the crazy. Hell, what else was he gonna do? I mean, he came all this way, put up with a whole week's worth of bullshit in one day. So I imagine the Joe figured, gotta see it through, my boy. And that was that. But once the Joe finally got his head on straight, he kept on trucking. Sometimes in life, you just gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other till you get where you're trying to get. Even if you don't know exactly where you're going, you just gotta get somewhere. Any damn where. Just go, move, walk your path, and talk your shit. And that's exactly what the Joe did, till he finally made it back to Buddy Raj. Night had fallen by the time the Joe got back. Whole bunch of people out and about, having a good old time, like I imagine one does out in Las Vegas, Nevada, blissfully unaware of what this bedraggled man had just gone through, just to get himself through the day. And ain't no telling what he'd have to put up with tomorrow. But as far as the Joe was concerned, that's another worry for another day.
We followed.
The reason.
Yeah. We happy.
Cloudie,